The goal of this video is to get you acclimated or used to Autodesk Inventor. So we're going to get started. And the first thing I'm going to do is click on the Start button, and I'm going to type Inventor. Now you should see it come up. If it says Inventor Reader or Read Only, nah. Autodesk Inventor, Professional or Student. When you click it, it's going to load. So far, so good. Waiting. Beautiful. Now, in this layout, if it tells you start learning or start building, making, click the Start Working button. Now, much like any other program, you can go to the top left and you'll see File. Click New or hover over New, and we're going to make a part today. This is going to be a single part that could be used with other parts if you got advanced with Autodesk Inventor, but we're just getting introduced. Now, for the layout, I want to point out a few things that are important. Number one, you have this top area. It's the ribbon, which is going to have different controls that you can use. Now, there are tabs at the top of the ribbon. To begin, go into the 3D Model tab. That's going to let us choose things to let us draw. As far as other things, we have our viewfinder. That's going to be where you see the object itself. And then we have our browser on the left. The browser collects all the different tasks you've done into almost like a library of things that you've already done, so you can edit things later. In the top right, right there, that's the view cube. The view cube can be clicked and dragged to show you different views of your object. It's kind of boring right now because we ain't got anything on there. So we're going to move along. Next thing, right near the view cube, you've got this home button. If ever you get lost, you can always go home. So let me not jump into that yet. There's also some other view tools. This hand is the pan button. You click it, and then you can click and drag with the left mouse button. Now, additionally, if you take your mouse and you click and hold the center wheel, you can do the same thing without that mouse button. To get out of any tool, you can press Escape. So there you see I have the hand. If I press Escape, I get out. I escape. Next up, let's see. This is the Revolve tool. You click it, and you can spin things around. The other way you could do that is if you hold the Shift key and you press and hold the middle mouse button. Now I can revolve it around without that tool selected. I'm going to go home. And the last thing that we have is Zoom. Zoom is done by just moving your mouse around, up and down. And it's going to zoom in right on your cursor. All right, so next step. Let's create a sketch. I click Start 2D Sketch, the top portion, and now I'm going to choose a surface to draw on. These are called planes. Think of it as like a three-dimensional graph, almost. So I'm going to choose the XY plane, and I left-click. Now that I've got this plane open, I'm going to choose a tool to draw with. You can draw with circles, rectangles. You can even click drop-downs, and there's all sorts of things you could do, but let's just stay simple with a rectangle. So once I click it, it's highlighted. And now in this program, we don't click and drag very much. We're just going to click, left-click once, and move our mouse. Now, looking at my object, I'm going to pan so I can get a better view. The blue highlighted number is the one that I can type into right now. So right now, it's at 2.271 inches for my width. I can type in a number, let's say 3 inches. Okay? Now, I'm not clicking anything else. I typed in 3. Let's say I want to change the height to 6. To do that, you don't click because it's stuck. It's stuck on my mouse. Instead, you press the Tab key. Tab. Tab. Tab key is going to bump that over to the other one. And now that I told it that I want it to be 3 inches, the only one I can change... Oh, hello. high. The only one I can change is the height. For that, I would type in my number. I'm going to type 6. And once I'm done, enter. I zoom out. Beautiful. We have now created a shape. Next thing we're going to do is finish our sketch. Every shape we make, we want to finish it. I zoom back out. And now what I'm going to do is give it some depth. To do that, the tool that I have for you is called Extrude. You click Extrude, and here it already selected my object. If it doesn't select your object, there will be a button that you can press called Profile. That'll let you choose the shape that you want. And now we can go ahead and type how far we want to extrude our object. So I'm going to type 2. Actually 2.5. I can do whatever I want because it's my object. So I say enter, and I'm done. I have a 3-dimensional object. Now what you should do is play around with the pan tool, the zoom tool, and the rotate tool, and get a sense of how you move these objects in space. Last thing I'm going to say, your left hand should be busy. You should press the escape key if ever you get stuck in something, and you should get familiar with Control Z and Control Y. Control Z, if I hold Control and press Z, will undo. If I hold Control and press Y, it'll redo. This is very handy. That's it for my introduction to Autodesk Inventor. Submit your files. Once I can stop the video. How do I do that?